Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II, World at War with our Allied playthrough. In the last episode, we recovered from a mass offensive that we committed in China while making some pushes where we had the opportunity to, getting ready to move on some other targets of importance. We are preparing for a massive, hopefully, offensive to finish taking Tobruk over in Libya, which I feel we will need to do soon if we're going to be ready for Greece. I don't really know how that's going to go here. We might just need everything here for Rommel. We'll figure that out. And the battle for the Atlantic is continuing in the meantime. So we will go ahead and hit end turn and see what the enemy AI has in store for us. The French Pacific colonies join the Free French. Yes. In real life, this is where, like, I think the French capital was based at this point. This is also the first time I've ended turn with the speed slowed down so I can actually read combat results. So we'll see how the speed goes now and see if we want to keep this. So destroyers for bases, we got the HMS Montgomery destroyer. We got our first destroyer from it. Nice. And the 7th Armored has arrived in Egypt. And we have a tank down here with full first tier upgrades. I don't even think we have advanced tanks, so that's amazing. Long range desert group formed in Siwa. I had no idea this was coming. Hungary joins the Axis Alliance. Highly unfortunate, but historical. That's them. Next will be Romania and Bulgaria. That's them preparing for Operation Barbarossa. George Formby entertains the troops, raise morale. Okay. Do I get morale for that? Is that what you're telling me? Spying and intelligence level 1 done for the UK. Looks like advanced fighters for America. Nice. All right. Logistics progressing. Advanced tanks level 1 for India. All right. Artillery level 1 for India. I think that was default. I don't remember researching that. Production technology level. Okay, so cheaper troops for India. That's good. MPP is going well. I see nothing out of the ordinary. France is collecting 5 MPPs. Are they actually? If France gets liberated, will they have this? Because France isn't on the thing here. So that's highly confusing that they're back now. 348 right now, collected a whole bunch as the UK. We had down to like 10, so this is an insane amount. I guess because it's fall and we're also not being raided right now, so that's pretty fucking nice. Now we'll pass things over to the Axis and see what they have to say. Italy, oh my god, already? Holy shit. This might be the historical time. I was hoping I had more time. Italian forces are deployed in Albania, probably free units. The Greeks are here, but they're not looking very hot. Enemy sub dealing 3 damage to us. We dealt 3 damage back. That's nice. It's going southeast towards Ireland. Alright, keep that in mind. Southeast towards Ireland. Tobruk reinforced to 6. Unfortunately, it was at 7. We got it down to 3. We're probably going to want to try to get that done as soon as possible, because Greece is going to need our help. Greece didn't live in real life, so they'll probably die even here, but it's going to need our help. Defensive artillery, they're going on the offensive up here again in Pauto. I love how I actually have the ability to kind of understand what's happening now. I love this speed. Alright, we dealt 2 damage. We took 1. They swapped armies. They're attacking again. We have defensive artillery again. They dealt 2 damage. They took 1. Okay. Considering they have the superior force, I'm quite happy that we broke even on that. Our MPPs are probably doing way better than theirs, or at least it sure feels like it. But they have other things to focus on than China. They're probably getting ready for the war in the Pacific at this rate. The Germans are getting ready on the border here. Yep. They're getting ready for Barbarossa. It's not till June. Don't you have to invade Yugoslavia? They must have true. Oh, is that these guys? The Slovakians right here? It must be. Well, there's also Hungarians now. Italian national morale increases. Italy declares war on Greece. Okay. Romania joins the... Okay, now they have the Romanians. Lovely. Axis military activity hinders allied supply on Crete. Okay. Whoa, hinders. It basically completely got rid of it. Spain moved 5% towards the Axis. Germany's going real heavy into getting Spain to join the Axis. I could try to counter it, but I'm still more... I'd rather get Finland and fortify a front than, you know, just prevent Spain from joining. I don't think Spain will do too much. That term was pretty short, actually. Not a lot really happened. Oh, and now that we have spying and intelligence, we can get intelligence reports. Nice. Now that the Greece has entered the war, we should consider reinforcing their position by sending at least 1 British unit to Greece. Doing so would provide a boost to their army's morale, continuing for as long as we have a British presence there. This would increase their ability to defend the country. If the Greeks can hold out, then we could even consider building up for an advance through the Balkans into southern Europe, something the Prime Minister would definitely be in favor of. Send at least one British unit to assist Greece in its defense. Yeah, I knew we'd need some stupid bullshit like that. We have the Leander light cruiser. That's done. Oh, this is a New Zealand light cruiser. Okay. We'll put that down by Christchurch. We haven't put any MPPs down there yet. For America, we have the Somers Destroyer and the 12th Air Force Fighters. Does this have to come out on the East Coast? I want it on the West. Because we're going to take all this shit against the Japanese. I'll go put it in this mess of things. And the 12th Air Force Fighters. Nice. Where the hell do I put this now? I guess we can go put it just like up around here by Seattle and Portland. We have fighters down south. Alright, cool. All that's deployed. All that's good. So Greece. We have Greece now. Greece has a heavy cruiser. Not going to get a whole lot of use out of that, given that Italy rules this and I'm not going to engage them. That would be a commitment of MPPs I can't really make. I'm going to go ahead and guess. Ooh. Can't reinforce this. Its supply is too low. The supply in Greece is just not that great at all. We need to reinforce this, but they could just like come around, could they not? But these guys are in entrenchments. Well, this one's in the mountains, and this one's actually in the Metaxas line. That sounds familiar. This took a real long time to fall in real life, didn't it? Yes, they are using British MPPs. Alright, we got the Athens Corps. Alright, so this is really interesting. So France is back on the thing now, but they're based in Polynesia. So that would be somewhere around here. I can find it much better on a real map than I can find it on this map, to be honest. But they're somewhere over here. This is UK. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah. New Caledonia, so it's over here. Yeah. Aha! Funny, I know how to get there from New Caledonia, just not normally. The map looks so weird compared to real life. So this is France now, I guess. Well, it's Polynesia. They're just using the flag of France, but no, it counts as France. So, France. France doesn't appear on the research, but they do appear on the purchasing. But they only have Polynesia, because French Equatorial Africa is under the UK. That's highly confusing, and this France can only even buy a garrison. So, what the hell's the point? What the hell's the point of this? The enemy supply at Tobruk is down to 2, so it's been going down more and more, and the Italians still haven't showed up to really do anything in force here, and I don't see Rommel. The Italians are now committed to attacking Greece. Alright. The Brits have a lot on their plate, but I kind of have an idea. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to attack bomb again. Dealt 1 damage. Took none. Alright. Then we're going to arty shell again. And again. Okay, readiness morale, very low. Supply, okay. Entrenchment is at nothing for them. Let's go ahead and attack with the WDF army. Dealt 3 whole damage. Nice. Okay. What's the chance I can get the final 2 off here? Let's go ahead and attack with the core. No damage. Anti-tank. 1 damage. 1 taken. Come on, you're almost dead. Yes! I successfully got rid of them. Tobruk is now mine. Okay. Because we do need to get a British unit up here. However, I wonder, it didn't specify what kind of British unit. Does it have to be a land unit? Can I just fly the fighters over here for the time being and have that be enough? Oh, this is also Greece. Crete is Greece. That's why this started popping up now. Well, I don't know what it wants exactly, but if I do send something over, it's going to be something that's not as significant. We can expect Rommel to show up here with tanks. We can also expect the Germans to show up here with tanks. So I wonder with this anti-tank. Maybe the anti-tank would be good defense for Tobruk. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the core. I'm going to move it into Tobruk to take it over. This core is, if I need to send a land unit, which I don't know how to even confirm if I need to do that, I will send this core up to Greece. Again, I really don't know how to even confirm. But I will send the Air Force fighters, the Desert Air Force fighters up there first. We'll see if it gives me a notification like, hey, you've done it. Success. Woo. And if it does, cool. I may still send the core anyway because the fighters might be more necessary down here. Certainly they could probably do more good when Rommel shows up. Now, we're not done though. So, okay, this army can't really move. Everything else is kind of out of capability to do anything. for the most part. This anti-tank is what I generally would like to get sitting in Tobruk, because it's a good defensive unit, especially for when the tanks show up. We can hope to bottleneck the enemies around Tobruk. So fighters up to Kalamata, and I hope it will say that I've done well over there. I also have tanks that I can start moving forward. We can operate, we're not going to. There's no urgency yet, so we're just going to drive them up. These things are definitely staying over here in Africa to help for when Rommel shows up. These are amazing. Again, I don't even have tank upgrades for the UK. Yeah, I don't even... No, I do, actually. I do have advanced tanks. That must have been automated, because I definitely never spent MPPs on that. In the meantime, we can advance, but almost nothing actually has the capability to advance right now. So what I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to move the HQ up one spot. Supply around the HQ should still be good. I'm going to move the Desert Recon back towards the HQ just to get supplies. And we're just going to chill out here and see what happens. Now for the rest of Africa. We have the ability to reinforce here, so we will go ahead and reinforce this core, which means we can't actually swap at the moment without stepping into lower supply territory, which I don't even know if that's going to be worth it. So I'm just going to chill out and just stare down this garrison for the time being. It's not too important to keep pushing here just yet, but we will take the Sudanese Defense Force Corps, which eventually we'll have to move, because I noticed the UK almost finally has Infantry Weapons 1 and Warfare, and that would be very important to actually seeing more success here. So we will go ahead and attack, and that just did not work out at all. What a surprise. That's unfortunate. For the time being, let's actually move back a step, because that's all this stuff is probably going to happen at once with the research finishing and yada yada. We're going to want to be able to assign it, and I don't think 6 is enough supply. We might need 7. We do also have the LRDG Special Forces from Rhodesia, apparently. Even though I checked Rhodesia, and they can't actually make this at all. We're going to go ahead and reinforce this as high as it gets for the time being. That's up to Strength 8, sitting on 5 supply. That's good. That means this will be here to help with our push or defense in Libya, which would allow me to send this corps up to Greece if I need to, which, you know, again, I still might, because the fighters just might be better to escort these TAC bombers in Libya. I think dealing with Libya is probably pretty important, since Rommel's going to show up. If we don't, we could get overrun through Egypt and then Sudan, and it could just be this terrible trickle effect. Jerusalem, what is this, Transjordan. But Greece definitely presents some good opportunities for us that we'll have to take a look at. Now, there's not a lot we can reinforce right now in terms of land. We're going to reinforce the HQ as high up as I can get it. That cost me 34 MPPs to get it up to 7. The Macedonian army sitting up at the Metaxas line, reinforce that up to 7. So that's cool. The Italians shouldn't be the biggest threat. They weren't in real life, and they shouldn't be here. However, they have more money because they're the ones that took Paris, so we might want to keep that into account. Until Yugoslavia gets invaded and falls, or I don't know if it can ahistorically join the Axis, then we don't have to worry about the Germans. We just have to worry about the Italians, and the Italians should get bogged down here pretty bad. Assuming I do get a British corps here, which I probably will send this corps, to be honest, whether the fighters are good enough or not, I'm going to send the Athens Corps up forward, ideally to get it on this town to help serve as a choke point against the approaching Italians. It can be operationally moved, but the rail line unfortunately doesn't go up there, so we're just going to have to walk. We cannot reinforce these guys anymore. The supply here is just not good enough, even with this HQ here, but that just might be because it's the first turn of this HQ being here and might improve later. And so assuming I do send a British unit here, it's probably going to sit on Athens, more than likely. So we're going to move this heavy cruiser down to Crete just to get it out of the way of the port. It's not my problem right now. We'll deal with it later. We do want to deal with British Navy things, however, that we have to deal with. For example, reinforcing this destroyer, which we can only do a maximum of 5 strength points a turn. It was at 4, so we can't even get it up to max this 1 turn. We'll just do as much as we can. The triumphant light cruiser that the French have imparted to us, we're going to go ahead and get that up to max. That's another 50 MPPs. Now, we know that there was an enemy submarine skulking around somewhere around here. It fled south towards, well, this region here. I don't know exactly where it might have gone. So look at these. Wonder how important these are. Let's sail down towards one of them. So you're going to approach from there, yeah? want to make sure there's nothing here. All right, let's go park you right there and see what it does. I don't know if this will do anything. We might as well find out. In the meantime, also, I'm pretty confident that for now over here is safe until the Japanese join, of course, but I don't think it will be too problematic. We could deal with it with the navies that are over here. This submarine has served the purpose I wanted it to serve, so we're going to have to start getting it moving further back. So I want to move it in safety, however. So we're going to naval cruise it just to get to go a little further. We're going to send it over here to Alexandria just to sit safely in the port for the time being and start cycling it around and see what we can do with it. I think it's very unfortunate that we did not find what we were looking for over here. But it could still be over here. It could be down here. It could be over here. I don't know. We're not getting raided. And so that's the most important thing. So let's scan a bit further north for the time being. Ah, there we go. Enemy contact. We found it. And it is in range of... Can we, but no, it's not in range because we have to move closer. Set mode. Mix. Oh, we could just set them all to mix? Does this, like, automate, like, what we use? Because that would be nice. Set mode. Mix. I don't know. I don't know if that... Because, like, I see the fighter cover and everything. I don't fully understand how this works, but this is a good time to test it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, if we move a carrier here, it should be able to attack. Yes? Okay. What if I set you to bombers only? Oh, okay. So the mix literally means it would be launching up like maybe 5 of each. Because when I swap to bombers, all of a sudden, we start becoming far more likely to do more damage. Okay. So you want to be very, very careful how you set these modes then. You almost never will want it on mix. So we have the Ark Royal carrier set to bombers. We're going to go ahead and try to bomb this submarine. We've dealt 1 damage. And it was not able to deal any damage back to us. Oh, but we have 2 strikes, so we can go ahead and attack again. Dealt another damage, and we took none. Cool. Let's move that back into formation. And can we change it still? No, because it's already kind of like had its turn. So we can set this one to bombers now. And we can move that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. Bomb it. Another damage dealt. None taken. Bomb again. No damage dealt, none taken. Okay. But it's almost there. Let's set the Courageous Carrier to bombers. Move it up. Bomb. Unfortunately, nothing dealt. Submarine dives from attack. Damn. Oh, but it looks like it died. Looks like it dived, but it died. So, that sucks to suck, buddy. We'll move the Suffolk Heavy Cruiser up just so we can get the Courageous Carrier behind the lines again, or otherwise it would not have made it. Unfortunately, but it has made it, which is good. And so, yeah, this thing should just be dead. Yeah, it's gone. All right, cool. It got way too close to the carrier fleet, and so we managed to wipe it out without any more damage to our destroyers. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. We also got the Montgomery destroyer, which we're going to go ahead and reinforce. Oh, we can only get this up to 8 here, right. Scapa flow ports are not the best. We're going to want to move something to actually free up some capability here. Let's take the Sheffield Light Cruiser. And let's just move it up for the time being. We'll take the Montgomery and we'll sail it down to Liverpool, where it'll be able to get proper upgrades and reinforcements there. Cool. There's also the Bulldog Destroyer, which really, really needs to escape. We'll go ahead and we'll kind of like scan the way there. Yeah, it looks safe to me. Alright, Bulldog Destroyer. Where shall I send you? Alright, we're going to need to move something again. So, let's go ahead and... Alright, this is fair. Let's move this battlecruiser back a touch. Move the Norfolk Heavy Cruiser back a touch. Send the Belfast Light Cruiser up a touch, so this is just perfectly blockaded by light cruisers. It's actually a little excessive at that, but that's fine. Bulldog Destroyer will go into cruise mode and sail its happy ass over to Bristol, where we can get that. Ugh, I gotta stop right-clicking. There's just like this slight delay, so I think I have to like right-click to get out of it like you do with other things in this game. But no, this worked out pretty well. We also ran into the problem of our Canadian destroyers not being able to reinforce fully in Canada because the supply in Canada is dog shit. So we're just going to take it and sail it right up, just normally, no cruise mode, just so it can like kind of do a patrol. We will have the Mohawk destroyer down by it, kind of as an escort, and also just in the middle of the line so it can respond to any threats. I'm realizing if these are blockade markers, doesn't that mean the enemy can just step in here to blockade us with a submarine? That's exactly what it means, isn't it? Okay, well shit. Let's go ahead and actually move these 2 light cruisers up a touch, just to make it harder for them to actually get in here. Fuck it. Send the heavy cruiser up there as well. Block this off completely. Instead of protecting our units, we gotta protect the blockade points. That would mean that that's what this is, right? I mean, these look like blockades. They're all at ports. So these are either mines, blockades, or both. I guess we'll find out. But I don't think you'd mine this far away from a port. So this is probably, yeah, this looks like a blockade to me. So we want to actually keep an eye on that. That could be pretty bad on the right side here, certainly. We do have the ability to upgrade the number 12 fighters in Sheffield here. We're probably not going to do that. Not this turn. So we're going to go ahead instead. We're just going to move it forward to surround the HQ at Birmingham and all these other planes, which I learned, by the way. Let me show you. If I want to go ahead and operate, I can actually send these anywhere that the UK, like, owns naturally. So I can send these down to Egypt. I can send these planes over to Greece. I can send these planes over to Syria, you know, over to India even. Oh, it's not just the UK. I cannot get them to China. But India, I can do, even though that's not UK in this game. All these colonies, French Equatorial, probably Canada, if I had to go look and take a guess. The Caribbean, probably. All the way down in Malaya. Yep, I could just operate these all the way down in Malaya for one set price. Australia. So we actually have a lot of flexibility of how we can use these planes. It's just we need to pay a pretty penny to actually get them moving. Right now, I'm trying not to put my money into them as much, but it's good to know that I can move fighters, for example, down towards Greece and Egypt if that is where we end up needing them. Very easily. Whereas, like, land units will actually have to transport, and that can be exceptionally dangerous. Operating a plane is just instant, it just costs a lot of money. We now have a lot of choices of what we could do with the rest of the UK's 156 points. We can go ahead and research, we could maybe buy some units, we could do some upgrades, there's certainly things we can do, but I know what I want to do. Until, like for the time being, Greece is a great distraction for Italy. And eventually it'll be a distraction for Germany. It'll probably fall very quickly when the Germans arrive, but for now, Greece is probably the most important land front in Europe. Because, well, there are no other land fronts. If you count the Mediterranean, you know, okay, Egypt's cool, but like taking Libya and making a defensive line against what the Germans will have to distract themselves with as well leading up to Barbarossa, that sounds pretty important. So I'm going to go ahead into the UK. I'm going to go to Greece. As you can see, we have already maxed out armies, garrisons, HQ, heavy cruisers, which is only like one of a lot of these things. We can get some native Greek fighters. But most importantly, we can get 3 more Greek corps. That's important. That is important. It costs 150 base MPPs to get it. We cannot afford to get anti-air defense in production, unfortunately. We're like 3 MPPs short. That's fine, we can do it later. We just need to get this thing making because it's going to arrive at February 6, 1941 at full strength. That is a while away. Still, it's a few turns. But it's before, I believe, the historical invasion of Yugoslavia. So we want to get that making. We want to get the Greeks getting more units. Because when Greece falls, these units are gone. You know, I can't get them anyway. And I've never been in a position where I could start recruiting units for a country that I know is going to die. And there's like a limited amount. So I actually have time to prepare. So we're going to take these British MPPs and we're going to put it into getting Greek corps. And hopefully get a British corps over there to help as well. So we're going to purchase the first Greek corps right now. So purchase that. And then hopefully that can help. Hopefully that can help bolster the mountains and the front lines. This would be a pain in the ass for any army to push through. And then hopefully infantry weapons finishes soon. As well as infantry warfare. And I know who I'm prioritizing to get these upgrades. The Greeks and the units in Egypt especially. As America, I really don't know what to expect from the Japanese offensive. I really don't know what it's going to look like. I have a general historical idea I have no idea how the game's going to execute it. So it makes it very hard to prepare units or strategies, since a lot of this stuff is event or script based, and I just don't know what it's going to look like. So for now, let's go into America, and I figured ground attack weapons could help, certainly for uprooting some enemy positions. Especially if we start operating planes across the Pacific, which we're probably going to have to do a lot of. Thank God I'm getting logistics and stuff. Let's go ahead and start recruiting ground attack weapons for the time being. That leaves us with 135 MPPs that we can still spend. Not a whole lot here that would be good to spend it on, so we can go spend it on some upgrades instead. Once the American MPPs get rolling, I feel like they would just be unstoppable anyway. We can get advanced fighters now, so certainly getting that for all the carriers could be very, very beneficial and important, especially if we go up against Japanese carriers that do not have access to this kinds of things. We will also get it for our Air Force fighters that are on the ground, the ones that we can get it for. There's also the medium bombers that can get naval weaponry. That's going to be actually pretty important. Naval weaponry. So what are medium bombers then? Are they just like multi-role, like maritime and tactical bombers combined? It sure feels like they are. We'll get those upgrades for these guys right now. We do have the first army that still needs to move down here. We can take the second army. We're going to send this one down towards San Diego, so they have different launch points. Let's not forget the Air Force fighters on Honolulu can also do with some of these advanced fighter upgrades, because I'm expecting the AI to get like maybe a free fleet for the attack, but they have all the carriers already. So maybe they'll just be scripted to move them. We haven't seen a lot of carrier action from them, so they may already be getting into position, but it's a year early, so like I kind of doubt that. Not something I'm going to do now because we're out of MPPs for America, but something that could prove very handy is to start getting anti-air upgrades for the ports and Honolulu itself, because they might try to bomb the whole fucking thing. That's what I'd imagine. We don't have any ships here, I'm realizing, so the whole point of Pearl Harbor is non-existent, meaning there's probably an event that's going to spawn ships here. So the anti-air upgrades on the ports would definitely be handy if I can't prepare the ships because they're not spawned in yet. Looking at the USSR, we're going to go ahead and research industrial technology. I saved up specifically to get this research continuing because every little bit of MPPs that the Russians can get once the war kicks off is going to help them survive, especially after the winter kicks in and hopefully starts helping us, because I believe we've already spent on preparing for that. We're down to 48 MPPs, not very much we can do with that. And with India, we have 136. However, once again, not a lot we can do with that. We can buy a garrison or an anti-air. I believe their research is still... Oh no, it's not capped anymore. That's right, I see. That's because we finished researching production technology. Well, that's an important one for keeping units cheap, which if we end up having a hard time in the war, researching more production technology can help with. So we'll actually go ahead, India, research some more production technology, and that should... Oh, that doesn't actually cap them out again because they finished advanced tanks. So they still have more leeway to do more research. Cool. So we can figure out some more important ones for them later. Probably not tanks, though. Probably either aircraft upgrades or, like, anti-air stuff. Maybe even mobility. They can have a lot of attack bombers, so ground attack weapons could be great, too. A lot of these could prove pretty handy for them. We already have units being purchased for them, so that's not much of a concern for me. Which leads us to the final front, as always, China, because everyone else has spent all their things. There's really nothing I can do with these French. I love how it brings me to Paris when they're in Polynesia. Nothing I can do with them at all, so we're just going to leave them alone. But we are out of time for the episode today, so tomorrow we'll pick back up where we left off, deal with the Chinese front, hit end turn, and move into December of 1940. The invasion of Greece will begin, and we'll be all the more closer to everything that's about to hit the fan with the war in the Pacific and etc. But for now, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.